Hey everybody, thanks for praying. This afternoon was a bit insane, so I'll go ahead and let everyone know what was going on. So Luke had his CT scan and changed his nephrostomy tube out. And during that, everything went well, everything looked good, and he was in observation, and he spiked a low-grade fever, which they then, because he's had a history of fevers and everything, went down the fever protocol route, and they put him on an antibiotic. But this one was a different antibiotic than the one he's had in the past. I forget the name of it. But shortly after that, he had shortly after that, Samantha was in there in the room with him, and he coughed a few times, and then his lip started to swell up. And then Samantha noticed that, and she told the doctor, who happened to be there, right there, that something was wrong. And he started to blow up like a balloon. I don't know. He started to go blue, and then Samantha, got out of the way, and the doctor took over. And ultimately, they called a code blue, I think, on him. He blew up and didn't have enough oxygen to breathe, and his heart rate went to 0. They were doing oxygen. They were trying to get oxygen in him, and they're doing chest compressions. I got called over, or during that time I got the call, and I ran over because I was at home. And so the whole thing, I don't know how long it took, probably 5-10 minutes. I don't know exactly how long it was, because it was still going on when I got there, which, I was over at Domino's, which is probably a 5-minute walk. I don't know. Anyway, it took a while. But the good news is, they got him back. They got a heart rate back. He's breathing. All that's good. And he's currently in ICU, which, from all indications right now, he's doing well. There's nothing that he's doing that we wouldn't want to see. So he's intubated now, but he wasn't. And when he wasn't, his eyes were open. He was moving his arms, his legs, his toes. He was acting like he was just pissed off because of all the stuff that's going on. So, so from that perspective, best case scenario there happened. We are concerned about, because he was out, technically he was dead for a period of time. You're not sure what kind of things that might have done to his brain or anything around him. So they ordered a CT. CT came back. Everything looked fine from what they could tell on it. The CT on his brain. That all looked okay. Although there's a possibility that something will show up later. So it's not a guarantee, but at least nothing bad showed up yet. So that's a great sign. They did a ultrasound on his kidneys, because they changed out the nephrostomy tube, and they wanted to make sure there wasn't any fluid or any crazy stuff going on down there. Everything looks okay. There's a couple tests that are still going on out, just to see what, what might have caused it. The current most logical theory is anaphylactic shock, which kind of lines up with what happened. And apparently, Samantha's brother is allergic to this one antibiotic. We didn't know about it or didn't think about it at the time. So it's likely that he's allergic to it, and it just caused him to have a reaction. They treated that along with a bunch of other things, and one of them worked. So we may never know for sure, but most likely, unless we hear something different conclusively, it was probably that caused it. So the long story is he stopped breathing and his heart rate went to 0, and he's back. And by and large, we're hopeful that everything will be good and he'll be out of ICU by the weekend. He does have chemo this coming week, and just because he's out of ICU doesn't mean that he would get to go home. So we'll probably be inpatient all week, but we're trending at the moment, and it's still way too early to say, but we're trending in the right direction, that this was just a crazy moment in time, and everything will be back to normal this week, hopefully. And then, so the other news worth mentioning is they did do the CT scans, and the tumor seems to have shrunk. So from CT scan to CT scan, I think it is about the same, but comparing the CT scan to the MRI scan, and they were taken at different times, the tumor had grown, and our doctor basically said, from that perspective, the tumor has shrunk 50% of its mass. So it's not like it's not half the size and diameter, but obviously the bigger you are, the more mass you take. So I think it shrunk. I mean, from what she's saying, I think it's like 3 or 4 centimeters, but those are the outer bigger pieces of the tumor. So that, equates to like 50%, roughly is what she's saying. So really good news on that part. And it kind of seemed like it, because during this last chemo, he was weighing 4.5 kilograms when we started. That was like his stable, not on fluids weight. He did his chemo, and he went up in weight because of all the fluids, and then he kind of regulated himself, and he lost like 0.1 kilograms for no apparent reason. And so I'm pretty sure that was the tumor shrinking, because he's just, now his standard is like 0.1 kilograms lower, and he was like a steady 4.5, and now it's like 4.4 is like his normal weight. So I think the tumor, about 0.1 kilograms of tumor, shrunk as part of this last chemo, and his belly looks better, so it kind of lines up with kind of those markers. So ultimately, today was just insane, right? So you have that happen, which is really good, and then you have all the other stuff happen, which is really bad. So yeah, I don't really know what to think or to feel, but at the moment he's doing well, and so I'm just gonna say it was a crazy moment for today, and we're back to normal. So and ultimately we're trending in the right direction from cancer perspective and all the other perspectives. So we'll see how it goes. Welcome to the roller coaster. Have a good one, guys.